Okay, Paul, last Saturday, let's start with that game at Kidderminster. It was 3 points on the board. I suppose there was a bit of relief that we were off the mark finally.
Yeah, I'd be lying if they said there wasn't any kind of relief. I think any football manager, any player, when they start the season, it's how quickly you get the points on the table, points on the board. So, but yeah, I thought it was a good performance. I watched the DVD, on the Monday, and the chances we created. There's a hell of a lot of chances against a side that's going to be realistically up there competing for promotion this year. I know they've got to a bad start, but you look at the players throughout the side, and they've got a good outfit. So it was a very good win, and it could have been probably a little bit more comprehensive when you think of the chances we missed. But no, it's credit to the boys. They've worked extremely hard to grind out a really good result.
And hopefully it will stop some talk of crisis, which seems to have appeared from nowhere.
Yeah, well, there's always these talk of crisis, and good players become bad players overnight, and I think one thing on that I can say is I said before the season started that the mark of a club is not when you're going through the good times, it's when you're going through the bad times, and you can never choose. We can't dictate when the bad time's going to come. We've had two bad results. Put hands up. We've had two bad results, and but we're 2 games into the season we were at the time, and. It's the mark of a team is how it reacts, and they reacted. In what was a tough fixture away at Kiddie, with an excellent result.
And you could probably point to the fact that you're actually at this point now 1 point better off than this time last year.
Yeah, we're a point better off, and performances, results. It's all about how many points you've got on the table. Come the end of the season. So we're a point better off. The statisticians keep telling me if we get a win on Saturday, we're 3 points better off than we were last season. But all we're looking to do is build on Saturday's result and performance, and try and put another good result on the board.
Has Saturday's win changed the mood around the camp a little bit as well?
Yeah, of course. I think that probably the level of expectations maybe got to 1 or 2 people at the club. And that, I said that prior to the season starting, that we've got to be very, very careful that doesn't filter over to the players. But, a win's a massive thing. Putting a group of players together once again, getting them to gel and getting them to understand wasn't going to be an overnight thing. So, and I said once again prior to the season that it's not where we are now, it's where we are around the Christmas time, where the league was, I say, really takes shape. That's the mark of how successful the first half of the season's been. So, no panic stations as far as I'm concerned. Good players don't become bad players overnight. What we need to do is probably manage a little bit of expectation a little bit better. And how we do that I don't know. But the players, I've had to say to the players, we've got to forget what's the hype surrounding us. The talk, the criticism sometimes, and we've just got to get on with doing what we paid to do. If we do that. We've got a chance as, along with a lot of other clubs that have been successful this season.
In those first 3 games, I've worked it out, and I think it's just 6 players have played in all 3 games. Have you had to tinker with it a bit too much, or was that what you were expecting?
No, if you analyse my, my history in management, I never got off to a good start anyway. We have pre-season probably, it's probably tickled the belly a little bit. We had a good pre-season. We beat some very, very good sides. But you never know what you've got and what you're up against until the football really starts. So we've we've swapped a few things around, and the squad. Most people's squads are differently. Come the end of October. So we will keep and I'll keep working hard. To make sure we put the right formula in there try and make sure we're successful this season.
One player that fans are discussing at this moment is, of course, George Pilkington, captain 1 week, and then out of the 16 completely, there are rumours going around of swap deals and whatever, and leaving the club. What is the situation with George?
He's a Mansfield Town player. I made a big decision. Pilks is, he's been around this level of football and above for years now. But I had to make a decision on a Saturday to get a result for this football club. I made it. I spoke personally with Pilks, as I always do with players, and that's as far as it goes. Rumours are created by everybody. I can't stop the rumour mill. I can't I can't come out in the press and say something that isn't there. As far as I'm concerned, Pilks is a Mansfield Town player. You know, he'll be given every opportunity to get back in the side and keep his shirt like every other player we've got here. You know, there's been a lot of talk about us. I mean, you know, this massive squad, and you know, I mean, all I've said is, you know, apart from, you know, the Ryan coming in late on, you know, so the squad's more or less the same size it was last year. You know, and like I say, I don't know if everyone is getting carried away with a little bit of expectation. With Chinese whispers, everyone, you know, by the time it comes down to the last man, you know, the Chinese whisper is completely different to how it started. So, but rumours don't concern me. It's part and parcel of the game we're in. You know, Pilks is a model pro. He'll work extremely hard, as he did Saturday. He's done in training this week to regain his place and to stay in the team.
You did mention there Ryan Tafazoli that you brought in. I suppose that's you had to bring in some physical presence, really, I think.
Well, if you look at that, you know, you look at where we've come unstuck. You know, in the 2 games that we played, nobody's outplayed us. You know, we've just been making stupid, childish mistakes. You know, and the physicality of this league. If you look at our side that finished the season last year, you know, teams have done to us in the first 2 games what we did to teams all last year. You know, and it's one of those things that, you know, we're not crying over it, but, you know, as a manager, I've got to do something about it.
Next week the Reserve League starts as well. That's an important part of the whole process, isn't it?
It is. You know, I mean, some of the lads have been like, we've tried to get some behind closed doors games of late. You know, we've been up the Crew, you know, places like that, you know, to play games. But, you know, we play Port Vale at home, you know, which will be a very good fixture for the lads. It gives them a real competitive fixture against league opposition, you know, and it's something we need, you know, because the squad is going to be so important this year. You know, if you look on, you know, the scenario over the bank holiday, you know, we've got 2 games within 3 days space, so the squad will be called into play. But no, the Reserve League is going to be so important for us. You know, I know people have questioned it, but that competitive fixture where 3 points are at stake, even if it is a reserve team fixture, is so important to keep lads ticking along and keep them at a high level of performance. You know, because, like I say, all you need is a couple of injury suspensions. Tactical changes, you know, just to go into games. It's going to be a long old season this year, you know, and it's like I say, everything that we've kind of planned for, we want to make sure that it comes to fruition.
Thank you very much.